When will many African countries be totally liberated from the Western world? It is obvious that as of today, many African leaders are so corrupt and installed by some foreign powers. There were kind of jubilation in West Africa, especially Nigeria, when Donald J. Trump won the election in the United States. And this was because the belief that the character and person of Donald Trump will expose some corrupt leaders in Nigeria who are carrying themselves as actually the ruler of the country. With the 2023 general election, which was marred with a lot of allegation and back and front with the current president, many believe that the emergency of Donald Trump as the president of the US will expose further the personality of the president of Nigeria. But far from that, in this southwestern part of Africa, South Africa to be precise, we are having another torso like that of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger with France, with South Africa and the United States of America. We all know that the United States president had an executive order which cut off aids to Africa, and South Africa is not left aside. And because of that, it was reported that the South African president Ramaphosa has now, sanctioned the United States, and as a result of that, many are reacting that this is just a way of, trying to kill the businesses in South Africa. But when you look at it carefully and look at what is happening in Burkina Faso, you look at what is going on in Mali and Niger, of which many of us have been saying, yes, it's a welcome development to Africa. If the western part of the world want to continue to explore our mineral resources to the detriment of African, then we have to stand up to them. Better still, tell them to come and build those refined companies here in Africa, employ our people. They do it in our own terms, not that they come here, pack every raw materials, take them out, refine them, and sell them back to us in Africa. It doesn't make any sense. But according to this report, the South African government has officially suspended all American businesses within South Africa, also stopped the exporting of minerals to the United States of America. This comes just a few days after Donald J. Trump cut off all funding from the US to South Africa and the USAID to South Africa. You know that the USAID issue that is sponsoring terrorism and all those conversations, which I will be talking about in the next video, it's something that is really having, big wave right now in Africa. However, the South African government categorically made it clear to Donald J. Trump that the American is nothing without minerals from Africa. And if he thinks Africans are not but mere beggars, then he should go look for minerals as well, because South Africa is tired of the blatant, desperate and disregard that they keep getting from the Western world. The US make over 25 billion US dollar in profit from South Africa annually alone. That's massive. That is why you see Burkina Faso's leader Ibrahim Traore decided not to collect any loan from IMF, World Bank, and some of these, Western organizations and all of that. He doesn't need aid. He said, we have the resources, we have the minerals. So let's deal. If you want to deal with us, let's deal. And how do we go about these deals? It is, okay, fine, you need this, we need this. So I give you a number of minerals at the rate at which is being purchased at the international market, right? And then you give me this in return, or better still, but for you to come and mine here and take our raw materials out of this place, mbano, it's not going to work, like Igbo people said in eastern part of Nigeria. However, is this a welcome development to Africa? Oh yes, if you ask me. But many believe that the influence of Elon Musk on Donald Trump is becoming too much, because remember that Elon Musk is a white South African who migrated from South Africa to the US, and we saw how he was able to influence the elections in terms of campaign, and he always there for the election processes until Donald J. Trump was declared as a winner. And in all of this, many believe that one of the things that can take Africa out is just the fact that they have Donald Trump. Now Donald Trump is now trying to sanction some African country because they're no longer benefiting from them. Will that now affect Nigeria, of which we saw how the president and the government of Nigeria is now having a romantic section with the French government, because Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso kicked them out. Chad kicked France out of their country, and some francophone countries are really chasing France out of their country. But Nigeria is trying to embrace them and bring them in. For what reasons? We are still yet to know. But we then now make Nigerian government to look at, oh, hey, US, we are also friends. So, don't worry, we'll give you the mineral resources. We have them in abundance. In northern Nigeria, where there is Boko Haram, there is ISIS, there is ISWAP, there is Kasawako, there is bandit, there are kidnapper, unknown gunmen, and all of them. What do you think about all of these? But me, I believe strongly that Ramaphosa should look at this carefully. When you look at the comment section on social media, people are saying that this doesn't make sense, that you are cutting businesses, it will affect your people and all of that. But the question is this: if he don't, the mineral resources that are meant to be used to develop South Africa for South Africans is being used to develop America for Americans. And that is the reason why the Americans, taxpayers' money is being used to send to Africa as aids. Please, let's get it right. Because the readers in the Western world comes all the way to Africa, take the mineral resources, take it over there, refine these resources, and then they process them, sell them to all over the world, and then they now send stipends to Africans. To get a point now. So when you look at it carefully, you will really understand that we don't need these stipends, just like Ibrahim Traore said. We don't need those stipends. All we need is, if we don't have the technical know-how, come, let's deal. We give you the land. We give you, let's say, free tax for a number of 10, 20 years. Employ our people. Give us the technical know-how. Within 20 years, mine here, refine here, produce here, employ our people, and export this refined product out to other parts of the world, right from here in Africa. It's a fair deal if you ask me. For example, now we don't have light in Africa, especially in Nigeria. We don't have lights. That's the truth. So our lights are not stable. What happened? Because some people who import generator will not let it work. So among other corruption, in that power sector. So imagine that the Nigerian government says, okay, fine. If we're going to continue to use gen or whatever, if we have the minerals to produce generators and all of that, okay, good. You generator company, you that produce a lion, tiger, and the rest, okay, good. Come to Nigeria. That is, for example, come to Nigeria, do your plant here, produce your generator here, and employ our people and sell it to the global market. You saw what China and US are doing and all of that. So let's think about that. You're producing here, we'll give you tax waiver, maybe you pay 5% out of, or 10% out of, and you take almost 80% of your workers from Africa. You give us the technical know-how, we'll give you a space of 20 to 30 years, you operate, and then you jackpot and leave us alone. How about that? But somebody may be sitting down there watching and saying, no, you see that since 1960 that we had this independence from Britain, it has never been well with us. But look at South Africa, they have their own independence, but they still have some white among them, and it really helped develop the country. You have to have everything. Let's have this conversation in the comment section. Thank you for watching.